The Sacred Living podcast is brought to you by Tropiki, a Jamaican-made self-care and wellness brand which includes natural handmade soaps, hair and scalp restoration products, womb care products, and healing herbal blends.
Sacred living is the embodiment of all the values that we seek.
At this point in my life, what is sacred to me is my relationships.
Sacred living is simple living.
Sacred living is just showing up always as your authentic self.
The way I view sacred living is living in harmony with, the sacral energy.
To live a sacred life means to be fully aligned and connected with the divine self.
What is up for, oneness with day and night and everything. That is right.
I am Tafara, the host of the Sacred Living podcast, where we discuss everything that involves living a purposeful, connected, and balanced life. For the first season, the focus is self, as proper connection with our outer world is impossible without truly connecting to our inner world. But in this episode, let us start with understanding what sacred living means. Greetings, family. Welcome to the first episode of the Sacred Living podcast. I am so excited to begin this journey in a resurgence of sacred living because it's not new, not to our ancestors at least. They were always living sacredly. It's just that how we used to live has been hidden from us, and we've been given this Western way of living that definitely isn't aligned with who we are as melanated people. It's not aligned with anybody at all, actually. Sacred living to me is simplicity. Breathe in, breathe out. Acknowledgement of your breath, because everything else comes after. Just breathe in and breathe out. What else matters? Sacred living is also connection with yourself, with nature, and that includes everything on this planet that we live on. People, animals, plants, minerals, fungi, and connection with the universe as well. Sacred living to me is living life in abundance. And that doesn't mean having a lot of money, because there are lots of valuable things that money can't buy, like health. Life is abundant itself, because everything that we need already exists. And through these things, we can create. That is abundance. Speaking of abundance, I was having a conversation with my sister Mika, who's gonna give her thoughts in a few on sacred living. But we're having a conversation from a post that I made on social media about me hand sewing some of my clothes. And she said, boy, those home ec classes really paying off, huh? And I said, you know something? Say what you want about St. Andrew High School for girls, but I left that school with 2 life skills. I can sew my own clothes and I can swim. And she said that is really an embodiment of the school's motto, which is life more abundant. I didn't appreciate it much when I was in school, but now thinking back, it really was a powerful motto. So I invited some of my friends who I admire very much, because from my observation, I have seen evidence of sacred living in their lives in some way or another. And this is not an easy feat, living in Western society. Let's hear what they have to say about what sacred living means to them.
Sacred living to me is lifting awareness of our capacity to the point where nothing can seem like a miracle anymore. Sacred living is the embodiment of all the values that we seek. Sacred living converts and transforms the human being into a living crystal that influences the vibration of those who come near to, or are touched by, or are in the simple silent presence of. Sacred living is the highest gratitude for life itself. Sacred living is no entitlement. Sacred living is breath to breath, complete joy in the moment. Sacred living is living without baggage behind you, without baggage in front of you. Sacred living is right here, right now. Sacred living is the childlike state, the embodiment of trust, love. It assumes the best of the universe. It assumes the universe has its best interest at heart. It is love itself. Closeness of the heart creates blockages. Openness of the heart creates long life and great years with no bad health. Sacred living is acknowledging these simple facts and rewards. Sacred living is acknowledging that life itself is a ceremony and must be treated as such.
At this point in my life, what is sacred to me is my relationship with my daughter, relationship with my partner, family, friends, nature, and blessed with the opportunity to be able to slow down this year and embrace motherhood. And just that opportunity to slow down and be so present with the home, with family, with, my daughter, that to me is just so sacred. Sometimes the guilt would come up because I would feel as though maybe I need to be busy, maybe I need to be hustling, maybe I need to be back in work. Oh my God, this fear of missing out because I may be losing clients or something like that. But it's actually sacred for me to not have to think right now too much about profit and capital. It's sacred for me to just go back to the roots, go back to nature, and just be so connected with it, be so connected with what really matters. Right now, the best currency for me is relationships. And that's what's sacred to me. My relationships, connections.
Greetings. As I know, I could share sacred living. Now, for sacred living is simple living. Living as how it was intended. Pretty much observing other aspect of nature and really aligning with nature and everything we're involved in. So it's really simple living. Eating from the earth, that are the fruits them, the herbs them, vegetable and them thing there. Times I even wash up, river, beach, rainwater. You know what I mean? In terms of even just meditation and them thing there. It's a very simple living. Not this get up and go school and brainwashing and work hard every day and for this paper and ink in order to live a good life. Really and truly people were living good life long before the invention of fiat money. You know what I mean? So sacred living is really living without them type of pressure the same way that the society put on people. Really and truly living as how it was intended. Simple and sacred. Blessed love.
Greetings, my name is Mika Nayota and I'll be sharing with you my views on what it means to live a sacred life. For me, the pure essence of life and nature are the most sacred. To live a sacred life means to be fully aligned and connected with the divine self. Discipline is important to make choices that will keep you in alignment with nature. To be in union with nature, you must live a natural life. Our bodies are aligned with the circadian rhythm of nature, which is sunrise and sunset. We work in the day, we rest at night. That's how it was set. Working beyond the laws of nature is unnatural. By being in harmony with nature, we are able to heal our mind, body, and spirit. Nature enables our growth like no other. By just being observant, in harmony, and simply giving gratitude. Anything not in sync with nature creates disorder. If the suitable conditions are not met, a plant dies or fails to reproduce. Everything is connected with nature. The benefits of sacred living is infinite. The more aligned you are, the more benefits you reap. This encourages you to keep in alignment, unlock new doors, and raise your vibration. Because there's always another level, another door to unlock. For me, there's no other way I could live. If you love nature, you want to nurture it, just as nature nurtures you. You want to protect it and pay homage to it daily. Nature unfolds her wisdom and nourishes your soul. To live sacred in accordance with nature is the highest and truest form of living. Living sacred means being sacred, and that's something that starts within.
Sacred living, I would say that the way I view sacred living is living in harmony with, the sacral energy or the things that are sacred to you. It definitely speaks to so many different aspects within our understanding from a spiritual perspective, but also from a anatomical perspective, our very own bodies, where our sacral energy is it's about circulation, it's about energy, the energy to produce, it's about sexuality, it's about the secrets of life, all of the things that our ancestors that have given or left for us, the practices they've shown us, these are all sacred to us. And so sacred living to me is a lifestyle where you're honoring all of these different things, when you can receive it fully, receive it and embody it and pass it along and institutionalize these things within your lifestyle, within your family, within your children, within your communities. So that's how I would look at sacred living.
Greetings. So sacred living to me means truly living, and for me that means being very intentional and being very mindful. It means caring for self, honoring self. It means setting boundaries, and that sometimes, a lot of times, means saying no even when you're expected to say yes. Especially as women, we're expected to say yes. Sacred living is just showing up always as your authentic self. Blessings.
Wow, it mean everything to me, in a many ways. It's connecting to your divine self, within yourself, and then, living it. So while you're connected to yourself, and, connected to the environment and connected to a higher source, them things are not things that are easy to explain. It is what it is. It's living. It's just doing it.
So I threw the question out on social media, and one person said that sacred living to them is simplicity without any clutter, in harmony with self, Mother Nature, and the grand universe. And I think that pretty much echoes what I think sacred living is. Another person said living off the grid, living in nature. And someone said being in harmony and balance with our context, that is nature and people surrounding us. That concludes the first episode of the Sacred Living podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in wherever you are tuning in from. We appreciate the listen. Thank you so much to my sisterins and brethren who sent in their contribution for this episode. I appreciate you all so much. I will leave their information in the description, so if you want to go and follow them and see what they're up to, they're all really interesting people that to me lead very interesting lives. So please go and see what they're up to and give them your support. Please, if you support this type of content, don't forget to give it a rating, a like, a thumbs up. If you are listening from the YouTube channel Dark Feminine Consciousness, please don't forget to subscribe. Also visit tropicanaturals.com, the sponsor of this podcast, for all your sacred self-care products and wellness products, from hair care to skin care to womb care and general wellness. So that's www.tropicanaturals.com. That is it for this episode. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and we link up next week, Tuesday at 7 o'clock.